from being born to seeing your parents grow up with you to then end up actually taking care of your parents and ending up also taking care of yourself. So, and we're not the only ones to go through this. Our parents go through the same thing. And that, my friend, is the circle of life. So for today's video, I wanted to give out a message that if you don't have an understanding of the circle of life, then from an early age, you're gonna go through something, either a breakup or you're losing a family member that is very important to you, or different life experiences that gonna put you in the spotlight, and that basically is gonna form you to, what's gonna be the real version of you when you come to your 30s and 40s and so on. So it's very important you to choose what do you feel inside of you, what your conscious is telling you that you will, that this you identify yourself with, let's say this. And I feel like there's a lot of young people that don't like to sit in silence and really ask themselves, who am I and what I like to do, what should I do now, instead of being my phone, what can I do, what can I do next. And that's why this year I was like, you know what, it's not gonna be the same as last year, and I'm gonna keep challenging myself to grow and to expand my, especially my knowledge, because I feel like from a long time, especially in my early 20s, and this is a true story, there was a time where, and this is a full circle moment, so I'm going with the same topic, so just bear with me. So in my early 20s, I had this moment with myself that I couldn't read, and because I went to Texas and I also studied in Puerto Rico, so my Spanish is not the best. So I wasn't able to really read a newspaper here in Puerto Rico. And for me, that was a moment that I was like, I need to fix this because I am almost 26 years old and I do not know how to read well my hometown language. And that's when I really challenged myself to go back to school and really say to myself that I can do this. I don't need any help, because my whole life I've been told that I need special needs, which I don't. That is something that is told, not something that is, that must be done, or it's up to you if you feel like you need the help. And I always felt like I like to be treated as a regular person, as everybody else. So, and yeah, so that was a full circle moment when I realized that I couldn't read that very well in Spanish, and I went back to school. I went back to school and I stopped working part-time jobs, and I really got to focus, thank God, in the things that I really want to align myself in the next few years. And right now, I'm just like working on my time, doing what I love, which is cool and much more exciting of how it was before. If you like this content, please hit subscribe just to help us keep growing together and evolving together. Okay, let's go back to the video. Spent a lot of days in my apartment in Austin alone, crying, asking myself, why am I spending these days alone, and where's my family, and they don't love me. For a lot of days I thought that I was the problem, but to be honest, don't ever think that you are the problem. They're just busy with their own life. Okay, I'm here to tell you this, and to be honest, yeah, don't be ever thinking that you you know that you're bothering them or that you're too much, because that's your mind. Your mind is telling you things that you're not supposed to believe, okay? So start telling your mind and things you want to believe and the version of you that you want to see. And believe me, you're able to manifest that life and you're able to manifest that moment that you want, you know? And especially with that job or that relationship, like, hey, don't ever tell yourself or limit yourself. Like, if that person doesn't align with you, then it doesn't align with you, but a better thing will come. Believe me, like, if it's meant for you, it's meant for you. What I'm about to speak today is very vulnerable for me because it's about a family member. I'm not saying his name, but it is a very important person where I pretty much saw him ever since he was born. And it's very hard seeing a family member going through something because you see them and you see yourself that you're not in, you know, in the right place to be able to help your loved one the way that you wish you could help. And so I'm here just, meditating a lot more than I usually do, breathing exercises, because there's nothing that right now at this moment, there's nothing I can do but moral support, because hey, moral support matters, okay? Okay, this is hard for me. Sorry. Okay, I'm back. So this person is 18 years old, and next week he has to go back home from a family vacation to start over his life by himself, and he's 18. And he didn't ask me for advice, but I'm gonna still give it to him as if he was seeing this video. I feel for you. I didn't went through that, but life has put me in situations where I hit rock bottom and I have nowhere to run. And in your situation, you're not hitting rock bottom, but I can sense that you don't know where to go. What's the next step? And if you ask me advice, I would say God. God is always going to be the main answer of everything. And it's not just going to church. And I honestly don't go to church, but I did, got the chance to learn about each thing, and I decide, my belief, and like as a each person. But I do believe there is a God and that you do receive what you give. And if you're seeing this, I know it's not going to be easy. I know the first few months is going to be hard to be sustaining by yourself, especially because you didn't choose that. And what's happening here is that basically a family member of mine, the whole family has to stay in another place. I'm from Puerto Rico, so in this case, they have to stay in Puerto Rico and they're from somewhere else. And yeah, they didn't plan this. They have this, like, the whole family has to stay, and one person has to go back to be able to manage the stuff that they have over there. And he's 18. And it's just heartbreaking, because he's my family member and I love him as a like he was my brother. And I went through the same thing, but I chose to live on my own when I was 19. So seeing him going through that, when I am asking for it, is just wow. I'm really blessed of the life that, God has given me, that I'm able to live my life experiences and be able to learn from them.
And I feel like you too. So if you feel like you're in a stage in your life that you're not doing the stuff that you want to do, or you're not in the exact place, it's okay. Just see where you can start today to get a little closer where you want to be. And my name's Lele. Talk about manifestation, alignment, and self worth.